Attorney General Shakers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to present our petition calling on the Government of Saskatchewan to protect Saskatchewan's water supply. The undersigned residents would like to bring to our attention the following: that water is essential for human health, recreation, health of our ecosystems, and our economy. That research from the University of Regina shows the water quality of Saskatchewan lakes is getting worse. And that the provincial auditor has pointed out that Saskatchewan's lack of a wetland policy negatively impacts water quality, and that significant work remains to get to better regulate drainage. Mr. Speaker, I'll read the prayer. We in the prayer that reads as follows: respectfully request that the Legislative Assembly of Saskatchewan actively protect Saskatchewan waters from current and future threats to our water supply. Mr. Speaker, the signatories today reside in Fort Capel and Regina. I do so present.
Ms. Ritchie.
I recognize the member from Saskatoon-Nutana.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Bill number 615, the Comprehensive Wetland Conservation Policy Act, be now introduced and read a first time.
It has been moved by the member from Saskatoon-Nutana that Bill number 615 be now introduced and read a first time. Is it pleasure assembly to adopt the motion? Carried.
First reading of this bill.
When shall the bill be read a second time? I recognize the member.
At the next sitting of the Assembly.
Next.
Mr. Speaker, this tired and out-of-touch government isn't listening to healthcare workers, and they're not listening to people who have concerns about this government's failures when it comes to managing wetlands and our water resources. Saskatchewan is the only province without a wetland conservation policy. More than a dozen people are here today calling on this government to finally develop a strategy to protect wetlands. More than 2,300 people wrote letters to the Premier asking for the same, and they still haven't got a response. Will the Minister for the Water Security Agency meet with the people who have come here today, and will he commit to a comprehensive wetland policy?
Recognize the Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I welcome the guests to the gallery and to the session on question period, Mr. Speaker. Obviously, we have really done an intensive process of the dialogue with the delegates, Mr. Speaker. We want to make a Made in Saskatchewan water management strategy that obviously is key to the future as we build and protect our world-class sustainable agriculture sector, Mr. Speaker. The stewardship policy will include a suite of policy tools such as wetland retention, using drained water for irrigation, and cropland beneficial management practices, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this has been a very, very engaging process, Mr. Speaker. We have met with over 70 different organizations and stakeholders across the province, Mr. Speaker. We will continue to do that as well, Mr. Speaker. I have lots of questions, I have lots of answers here, Mr. Speaker. I can give a list of everybody we've been engaged with, Mr. Speaker. I can tell you the consultation process continues.
Recognize the member from Saskatoon-Nutana.
Mr. Speaker, the consultation has not been intensive. I've heard from many stakeholders who have said just as much. We're losing tens of thousands of acres of wetlands every single year. Conserving our wetlands is important for everyone in this province. It's important for the environment, yes, but it's so much more. It's critical to our economy. It's important for hunters and outfitters, for drinking water, for First Nation and Métis rights, for recreation and cabin owners. There's a wide swath of people who are impacted by the loss of wetlands, and this government is failing all of them. When will this minister act, and when will we see a comprehensive wetland conservation policy?
Hear, hear. Recognize the Minister of Agriculture.
As I said, Mr. Speaker, in my previous answer, we have started the consultation process. It has been ongoing, Mr. Speaker. I do have a list of everybody we have consulted with. And, Mr. Speaker, I'm going to put it on the record. It's going to take me a while, Mr. Speaker, because there's 70 different groups. But I'm going to list them all because the member opposite asked. The member opposite asked who we consulted with, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to give the list and read it into record today, and I don't care if it takes the whole question period, Mr. Speaker. I will give it. The Saskatchewan Winter Cereals Development Commission, Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce Water Council, the Provincial Association of Resort Communities of Saskatchewan, the Saskatchewan Provincial Parks Owners Association, the Prairie Water Global Institute for Water Security, University of Saskatchewan, Mr. Speaker, Prairie Adaptation Research Collaborative, University of Regina, the Coansachouam Graduate School of Public Policy, the Saskatchewan Mustard Development Commission, Saskatchewan Forage Council, Saskatchewan Sea Growers. That's page 1, Mr. Speaker.
Recognize the member from Saskatchewan.
Mr. Speaker, there are so many people in this province who have been blocked from participating in those consultations, and they're tired of not being heard. They have serious concerns about this government's upcoming ag water stewardship policy. The focus is far too narrow, and the consultations have shut out many of the folks here today and other important stakeholders. Every single person in this province needs access to clean water, and this tired and out-of-touch government isn't listening. The feedback from people and experts needs to be incorporated into the plan, and the costs of mismanaging our water resource, like the hit to our producers this year, need to be taken into account. Wetlands help to mitigate and manage the impacts of drought. Will the minister actually listen to these people, and will he ensure the costs of mismanaging our water resources are fully taken into consideration?
Recognize the Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, the folks at Water Security Agency have been totally engaged with the public, both in either written submissions, phone-in comments, or in-person submissions as well, Mr. Speaker. I did page 1, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to go to page 6. Okay. But I will read the others if the members opposite want to hear them. Here they are. Fishing Lake First Nation, Pheasant Rump Nakota Nation, Beardies and Okamasas First Nation, Onion Lake First Nation, Thunderchild First Nation, Big Bear First Nation, Peter Chapton First Nation. These were all part of the consultation process, Mr. Speaker. Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations, Métis Nation of Saskatchewan, Battleford's Tribal Council, Battleford Agency of Tribal Chiefs, File Hills Capel Tribal Council, Saskatoon Tribal Council, Yorkton Tribal Council, Mr. Speaker. This is only on page, I'm only on the 3rd page. I will get more, Mr. Speaker.
Recognize the member from Saskatchewan
Mr. Speaker, the people of this province are looking for real answers, not a filibuster by that minister. People who are here today have serious concerns about how this government is mismanaging our shared water resource. Just take a look at the issue of illegal drainage. When one landowner illegally drains onto another landowner's property, it's almost impossible to get them to stop. There's no enforcement and no accountability for landowners who are doing their part and are following the rules. When will the minister, it has to stop, when will the minister for the Water Security Agency stand up for people who are following the rules but are paying the price for this government's failures to act on illegal drainage?
Recognize the Minister of Agriculture.
As I said, Mr. Speaker, we are in the process of developing an ag water stewardship management program, Mr. Speaker. We will get the policy. We want to make sure that all aspects of this are heard, Mr. Speaker. There's been recommendations been put forward. As of a month ago, Mr. Speaker, there was a meeting in Yorkton where there was representatives from the SCDA, APAS, SARM, SAW was there, FSA was there, Saskatchewan canola growers, Saskatchewan wheat growers were there, and Saskatchewan wheat was there, Mr. Speaker. Many other recommendations are coming forward That is why the consultation process is going forward and continuing, Mr. Speaker. We want to make sure we get this right for the province of Saskatchewan. A strategy that was never done under the members opposite when they were in government, Mr. Speaker. We're going to get this one right.
Recognize the member from Regina Rosemont.